it recording right now?
Yeah, we're recording right now.
Oh.
Everybody's hearing this.
I'm just so tired.
Oh, see, that's good that we're not doing cameras today, because then
they would not tune in because I look like shit today. That's why I have to put filters on my selfies.
Filters on your selfies?
Mm-hmm.
Because you look like shit?
Yes.
Why do you look like shit?
Because I just got through the plague.
Interesting.
It was tough. It was really tough. The plague is no joke.
No. You don't mess with that. Mm-mm. You don't mess with that. I don't know what we're going to talk about today. Are we going to talk about the wall? We want to talk about business? Kind of all of it together? Because if we talk about business, then it's timeless. If you talk about the wall, it's very topical. It's very right now, and we got to get this out right now or within like a day or two. You know what I mean? Like it becomes the news. Then when it's the news is only, it has a quick expiration date.
I know you're tempting me with that, but it's like, do I really? I don't have the energy to get pissed off.
Okay. Then let's talk about business, small business, our small business.
I told you I don't have the energy to get pissed off. Why do people like change the moment a camera is in front of their face? Like you can't be natural anymore. And I see it all the time. Like you said, in audiences, it's like, and they get all, I wonder why do we get that way? It's
stage fright, right? It's a form of stage fright, isn't it? Isn't it like, it's that whole thing, right, of the anxiety of performance or performance.
But they're
anxiety.
not even that's the thing.
But even to a small sense, it's like when people have to get up and do a speech in front of any size crowd, even if it's their family, they get like, because for that moment, for that brief moment, everyone is looking at you. All of your imperfections, all of your little nuances are like magnified. Everybody's seeing what you're doing.
But those imperfections are what you perceive to be, so they may not even see it.
Correct.
They won't see it.
Oh, yeah. Because I've done it before where I like locked up on camera and or stumbled my way through it. And in my head, I'm like, oh, I made so many mistakes. And like I was stuck on trying to say that sentence the right way for like an hour. And then when you watch the video back, it was like 3 seconds. But in your head, you blow it up. You go, it's why not everyone can be a star or not everyone can be in front of the camera because it takes a certain psyche to be able to handle that.
Yeah.
And to continually handle it. Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
That's interesting.
That's my theory.
Well, you can get trained. So they do have speaking classes or whatever.
Well, right. It's just practice. It's just getting used to thinking on your feet under that pressure, I guess, right?
And it has to do with just confidence, because I remember I would be terrified to talk in front of a group in college. I had a class with Mr. Robinson, and everyone had to present. I don't even remember what the report was. I was too frightened. I was up there like, he could see it so much that he even gave reference to how like comedians are so insecure, but they still go up there, and that's why they're able to do that, because they become somebody else. He actually had mentioned Robin Williams at one point, saying how insecure he is and shy he is. And I'm like, oh, okay. It was that bad. I would be like shaking and red, and like it crippled me to go and talk in front of people. And it's so funny because at the same time I loved performing. So it was just really weird. And it's been the last few years where I'm able to do it and to talk in front of people or do workshops in front of people without being so scared, because I've let go. And I believe that when I let go, I'm letting another force work through me and do the work for me that I'm not. I'm just a vessel. And that's what's been working for me. It's just like whatever knowledge that I am sharing with these women, for instance, like when I do the workshops, I'm channeling that. So I have to trust that. So it's coming through. Because if I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Oh my God, am I a fraud? Do they know? It's like when I get that out of my head and think, no, I'm able to channel that one subject because that's what I'm meant to share.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, I am so blessed. I could talk on the fly now. I could go because I'm not crippled by that anymore. And I'm so thankful.
You could take on that persona of a person who it's you, but it's a persona of you knowing that subject and being able to talk at length and in depth about it and being able to improvise within it.
I think, because I go with trust. I just trust because I know I'm not going to know every single, I'm not an expert. I'm not going to know every single thing or have an answer to every question that they ask me about, I don't know, like beauty or whatever that is. I just trust. And it's okay that I don't have all the answers. So that's that's where it used to be my downfall was like, oh my gosh, they're not going to believe me. They're not going to believe in me because I don't know the answer. Oh, it's like, no, it's okay. I'm human still at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. You're not infallible. You're going to have to have moments where you go, oh yeah, I got to look that up. I don't know about that. Or you think you know all about it, and then when you start to talk about it and someone brings up another aspect of it, you're like, wow, I never even knew that part of that.
Yeah, which is awesome because then I learned something and then I could share that. So it's all sharing information.
It's not about hoarding it and knowing, I know everything, so I'm the best at it, so then I should be allowed to speak about it. That's how some people think speakers are. Yeah. And it's like, no, when people get up to speak, the good ones who do it and stuff, they know that they're not perfect and that they're not going to know everything and or say it perfectly or get it out perfectly.
Right. And the people that do cling on to, don't want to share information or they're like, this is my secret formula. Yeah. It's silly to me because there's only one you. So there could be three people speaking about the same subject. Let's say three life coaches talking about the same subject. But out of those three, you're going to have how can I explain? Like each one are going to have different followers. And even though they're talking about the exact same subject, there may be a follower that's like, oh, I don't like so-and-so. Even though they're sharing the same information because it's what you bring and what you offer to this subject that is going to resonate with different people. So there's enough, I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's enough to go around. There's enough
that's
clients,
exactly
there's enough information. There's enough.
There's enough. Yeah.
And like, there's so, people are like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. Like, let's say I can't be a film editor. There's so many out there. That's true, but there's only one you.
Yeah.
And so you may bring something different to the table that a company needs.
Yeah.
So they have all these applicants, but they pick you because of what you bring. I mean, all of the applicants are worthy of doing the editing. They do the technical, but there's something that they chose about you that had nothing probably to do with the editing for the most part.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And that's probably, I would say that's a part of like your approach and your strategy, if you will, for your business and for your work of like, there are other life coaches. There are other people that cut hair. There are other people that do everything that both of us do. We are not the pioneer first time people, even though a lot of what we do, in the area, we're the only ones that do part of what we do only. But nonetheless, it's more people come to us because of who we are more than the fact that we offer the service that we offer.
It's the small business aspect of it. Like a lot of people love to support small business, but they love it even more when you are a gracious small business owner.
Yeah.
And they want to support you and they're like, you're doing something. Yeah. I'll keep coming back.
Yeah, I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the thing. I mean, because you may not be the only one, but at least you're bringing it to the table or to the client or the customer, and that's what brings them back is the actual service that you give.
What do you think brings back? Well, do you think for your business as a video transferring? Yes, it's limited, right? The resources are limited, like for local, for
I think I do have a little bit of I have seen that with the business of video transfer, that we have a built-in advantage than a lot of other businesses, right? Because there's very little competition, right? And technically they could go though to like Costco, they could go to Walgreens and do the exact same thing that we're doing here as far as getting their video transferred. Where we're different, and I think what makes people come back is that it is local, in that you are dealing with the person who's doing the work. It's not farmed out and the thing's not gone. So it's more, I think it is like the individual that brings them back, and you and my dad for that matter, the three of us that work here, brings them back instead of because of the personality more and just the care we put into it, instead of just the fact that we're a very limited resource in the area. So, but that helps where I don't have to advertise as much, and because I don't have to try to get above competition. I just have to let people know I exist, and which is different than a lot of other businesses.
Right. Like for me, for instance, when I wear hairstylist hat, then that a lot. Of course you want to cut their hair, color their hair good, but it has a lot to do with relationship, because I am with them anywhere from an hour to 4 hours, depending on the service.
Oh yeah.
So I've built some really good relationships, and they keep coming back. I mean, they could, and some of them are just wash and blow dry. They could go anywhere for that.
Oh yeah.
But it is about it's huge when it comes
4
to
hours.
relationship.
That's a relationship. Yeah, you have a. It's more about you than it is about what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like I could see, when they're dating someone, then they got married, then they have a kid, and it's so like you do build this relationship. I have one client, she has a new baby, and we'll just text. I'm like, send me a picture of the baby. It's just you build that relationship. And it's a lot like therapy.
I thought it was the coolest thing when you showed a video about one of your do you call them customers or clients? What do you call them?
A client.
One of your clients. She, you told her to walk, act like she was walking down the catwalk, and I was watching the video, and she walked in and she turned, and seeing the look on her face was a genuine happiness, was this genuine feeling that she would not have got if she came out of Fantastic Sam's. You know what I mean? Or even most salons, because what would have happened is she would have had to go to the salon and then get in her car and then drive over to where her friends were and then come out, right?
Right, and that would wear off. Already.
Yeah, it would have worn off right there.
Yeah.
She had you did it in the room right next door.
Yeah.
Or I'm assuming just right.
It was right in front of them.
Yeah, right in front of them.
And then we left to do her hair and makeup in front of them with instruction, go to the other room to take photos of her. And then I had that idea. I'm like, wait, go back into that room. But when we go into that room, you strut your stuff. You walk the catwalk, and it was really fun. And that's why I do that. It's just
that's what I was noticing too. You looked happy showing the video.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, awesome. See, that's a good
And I was sick that day. I was so sick, and I just downed all this medicine. I'm like, all right, I got to do this. Got to do it, because that's how much it means to me. It just
Well, and that's what's also one of the benefits of having a small business, and it's not just being your own boss and stuff. You're doing something that you would do whether you were sick. Generally, you would do if you weren't getting paid, but obviously you wouldn't do it at the scale or level that you're doing it because you're getting paid. And I think that's it's another advantage of just in life of working for someone versus working for yourself. It's a very different mindset.
That's so true. Yeah, because you're right. Because I would still give my all, if I'm working for somebody, but I guess it's a different sense of pride.
Yeah,
is what it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
because like, this is my name, and I did this. And
well, exactly right. Yeah, because it's working for someone else. Even though I'm not saying you wouldn't do a good job, right? But you don't do as good of a job because of what's built into it. Because it's not your reputation necessarily. When you're afforded the luxury of, I work from 9 to 5. It's 5 o'clock. I go home, right? Whereas when it's your own business, I work from when I get there to when I leave. That's the difference of the schedule. It might be 9 to 5, it might be 9 to 9, but you're willing to do it because it's fun and it's what the job is. And then, but then also you're afforded the luxury of, well, since it's not your business, but it's somebody else's, and there's other people working there. When you're sick, you can call out sick. You should call out sick. That's fine. Yeah, you can go ahead and do that. And some people might look at that as that's the rough side of having your own business, is like, well, you have to work when you're sick. And it's like, yeah, but if you like it, you don't care. I mean, you care, you down your medicine and you go do it, but there's a sense of pride and accomplishment and ownership of your destiny, of your day, of doing, accomplishing making the person feeling good, walking into a room with all her friends and know that, yeah, I did that. I made that. And that's different than working for yourself. Working for someone else. Having your own business makes you realize the importance of time.
Oh, yes.
And the currency of time. Like,
even getting to a spot for me, I travel around. I add a little padding so I'm covered, because they'll say, I want you for 2 hours, but they're 40 minutes away.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm kind of like, that's cool, but you're also going to pay me at least to get like drive time here a little bit, so.
Yeah. That's such a hard thing for people to, is it hard for your clients to understand that? Like when you say like, well, I don't want to be there an hour, but I'm charging you an extra hour or 2 hours for travel time. Do they
I don't
understand?
say that.
Oh, you don't say it.
So It's just in my price, right? I'm not charging them the whole. I'll go by like mileage or something.
Okay.
And so it's actually a pretty small fee that I put in there into my whole pricing. So
No,
they don't need,
knows.
unless it was like an hour. Like I had a girl come to me and she wants me to do her hair and makeup for her wedding in, I don't know where this was. Let's say it was like Long Beach or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That's far.
2 hours away.
So I let her know.
Or 5 minutes south of me.
Yeah, I said, well, I can't remember how much I told her, but I told her a fee for my travel.
That's like 100 miles away about.
Yeah, that's
so then
far.
you probably charge like an extra.
And I was like, well, if she doesn't, she doesn't. Yeah. So I put it out there and she's like, okay.
Oh.
So.
Yeah. So, but you don't have it listed in there. It's just built in to the price of it. Well, then how do you go about the idea of charging people and knowing how to charge people and how to write it up so that they pay it? Because you don't want to itemize every little thing, because then they think you're nickel and diming them, right? Like all the way through it. So you'll combine a cost, like you're saying, like you roll the cost of travel into something, so that way they don't know they're paying for it, but they are paying for it, which sounds like it might sound like we're trying to trick people, but that's what every business does. Like,
well, you have to, because you think even if it's a restaurant, you're not just paying for what's on your plate. You're paying for the person, partially for who cooked it, who prepared it, for the plate, for the fork, for the, it's that's just, if we didn't do that, we wouldn't survive. So it's like, I'm going to do your hair and makeup. It'll take me 2 hours to do that. and I'll charge you accordingly. And that's it. My flat rate. Boom. Hair and makeup. And so that's just how it goes. And it's not ridiculous, because then you think about the going rate, you kind of compare with the rates with everyone all around. So,
well, yeah. But that's exactly it. Cause like, I mean, some people will look at what we do and they're like, well, the VCRs, you don't have to buy the VCR every time, because really what they're paying for is our service. Literally, they're just paying for our time. But I mean, yeah, we have to buy the VCRs every once in a while. We have to buy, but I'm not charging them for that, for the actual equipment we have to upkeep and keep getting as it goes forward. But yeah, and it's all built into the cost of it. And like you're saying, you roll in the idea of, because I've seen that on some invoices when people they'll go do a video production and then they hand the client the invoice, and it's way too itemized and they have way too much stuff in there. Obviously there's certain things that are pre-agreed on. Like if they did agree to pay for your travel, yeah, you're going to itemize that. But for some things that they're not aware of that have to be just in there because you had to do it, like they might not know that you rented equipment, but you had to rent equipment to do something. Whether you had to rent like a shampoo bowl, or you had to go buy more of a product because you're out, but technically you had to buy it to do the thing. They don't know about it, but yeah, it's all just part of the cost of doing it.
Yeah, because that's what I break it down. So per hour. So if it's going to take, I'm going to do roots on somebody. So I know what that is. How I know how long that takes. This is how much that's for my time. And then, yeah, you sprinkle in for product. You have to, because the product is, they're helping you pay for that. They're helping you pay for everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Same thing like with our DVDs. Yeah, I'm not, we're giving them, quote, a free DVD, but it's just because it's worked into the price of the cost. Because, it costs something to have all that. For you to have the chair and to do a dye job, it's not free. You're not, even if it was just literally bleach, not that you do that. I don't know, do you? No. But yeah, you would have to go buy the bleach. It's like, there's no such thing as free.
Yeah.
It's just, it may not cost you or cost them,
right.
But
right. So, for instance, I could do hair color with a free haircut, because I'm not using any product for the haircut.
Right.
Yeah, it's my time, but I can offer that. And I'm not really losing anything except for my time, which would be an extra 45 minutes or so. But yeah, there's all these little incentives and stuff that you do. And you have a company and then trying to get business without advertising is a lot of stuff. I don't know if it's when you live in a smaller community, word of mouth is a huge thing.
Oh, yeah.
Or doing charity work like I did when we had the Thomas fire. All the people affected by that, come on in, get your hair washed, blow dried. I got you, so stuff like that. And then that, actually one of those clients I built a really good relationship with, and now we're, working towards a business goal together, and just, so it just.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Yeah, I think that's a part of it in the way that, yes, we're in a very small town environment, right? I mean, I know people like to say that Ventura's a city and Oxnard's a city. No, we're barely a town. Comparatively speaking, right? It a lot of it is word of mouth. Word of mouth is the best advertisement you could ever do around here. And again, it's going back to that idea of time as a currency, right? You can use time as a way to purchase things or to get advertising in this way, right? Like you're saying, you do charity work, right? That's you giving up your time for quote free, but it's not free because you're going to get something back in the hopes of doing it, right? You're hoping that one person comes back. And it sounds like, well, you went over there and you did 10 hours of volunteer work. I don't know if that's what you did, but you've done 10 hours of work and all you got was one person that came, and you might be business kind of consultants with each other. And it's well, yeah, but if you think about it, my hourly rate for 10 hours, I would have only made like $150. You know, I don't know what your hourly rate is. Let's say you know, $20 an hour, and you're like, I would have only made $200. Now, if I had gone out and advertised to do the same kind of advertising to reach the same amount of people and everything that I did, you would have spent $500 or $1,000 to reach the same amount of people.
That don't guarantee customers or
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the thing is, you gave up 10 hours, which would have been $200. But you're right, it's just your time. You didn't give up a single. It's just your time. 24 hours go by no matter what you do. You know, they're going to go by. And out of it, though, you got one person that came over that might actually now really help.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, we're in the works of some, like a partnership of some sort.
Yeah.
And it's
awesome. It's a gain. It's a plus. It's an asset that you have now that you would not have had you not done that.
Right.
Or had you done, if you just went out and did $500 in advertising, you would not have had that connection, because people looking at your ad, they don't come and go, hey, let's be business partners. They wouldn't, you know.
Right. And also, I believe when you are face forward with all these people and you're in relationship, you'll just start attracting those people that the kind of clients that you want too. So I feel I get a little scared of like advertising like that, just throwing it out there in a magazine or in the newspaper. Yeah. Unless I had some verbiage that could scare away people, like soul-centered, heart-centered, you know.
$1,000. Yeah. Then yes, yeah. No, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's exactly what we both experienced, I think, with Groupon. The type of customers you know, and not to badmouth it. I know some things it works. I get it. It works for the bigger established companies. If you're a smaller company, it doesn't work for you. If you're a small business, anything, you know, like small, like you're not earning a lot of money.
I worked so hard. I felt like I was working for free, because basically I was, you know, doing a service from 45 to 2.5 hours and getting my little, for me, it just didn't, $7 in my account.
Well, and not only that, okay, so then you could, you got that. You're getting very little return on that. And time is a currency. You're like, oh, but you're exposing yourself to people. But it's like, the problem is, to me, the key problem, and it's why I will never use them again, is you're getting exposure to the wrong people.
The people that want the deal, even after they've got it for they got it for free practically. Yeah. And then they still, can we still keep doing it? No. Yeah. Oh, I got another Groupon.
Can I put these two together? You know, and it's like, you're like, do you realize Groupon to start? You know, and that's the thing. I wonder if anyone at home knows that or anyone listening. That Groupon to start, you got to start at 50% off of whatever you're offering. And they take, of that 50%, they're taking 25% on top of that. So that means you're only getting 1/4 the amount of what you're supposed to get.
Groupon is genius, though.
It's genius.
Because they are rolling in the dough at our expense.
Well, that was the thing. For a while, I liked it because it was not free advertising. It was advertising you didn't have to pay for.
It's exposure, and you were getting change for it. Yeah. Nickels and dimes.
And maybe that's what it is, too, is to look at it as it's a way to get like a quick infusion of exposure, right? For very little investment. But you're not going to do it as a means of, this is going to make my business be, you know, grow and explode, and we're going to make a lot of money, because it's going to pull in the wrong people. Because I think every single person that we've ever had that is a repeat customer, not one of them is a Groupon person. Groupon people, the only time they've ever come back is because they have another Groupon. So every time they come back.
Yeah. So exactly, and it's just, that was bad. Yeah,
which is now why for us at least, that's why I have my own coupons on our own website. You can go on the website and get our own discounts, because I'm knocking off $20 or whatever, but it's not like you know, the 50% off. Then you know, we're not like we're making 1/4 the amount we're supposed to be making. We can still work as a business with that.
Yes.
Yeah. You can find it at modernvideoservices.com/specials/ specials dash discount dash etc. I think what it is, slash specials. That's right. I changed the name. It's just modernvideoservices.com/specials. That's what it is. Or just go to the website and click on the specials and you'll see them. A new special every day.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Does that auto-generate?
Yeah, it's auto-generated.
Oh, that's so cool.
I set it up to auto-generate and then to just, go through and create all that stuff.
That's cool.
So, until the theme updates. And whenever the theme gets updated, it overwrites it and I have to rewrite the code again.
Oh.
Or not only rewrite it and adjust it to the new way, the new security that they have. But yeah, otherwise it works great. Which is another thing about small business of time management, and which also brings us to the idea of one way or another outsourcing some of the work, but then we were just talking about like PayPal versus QuickBooks, and that's outsourcing, right? Because it's something that you used to have to hire an accountant to do a lot of that stuff, right? But now a software can do it. You just literally go in and say, this is this, and it knows where to put it. And it says, okay, that's your invoice. These are your items. And this is how many you have sold. This is either how many you have in stock and stuff. That used to be a person, but now you can outsource that to a thing, literally a thing. And, but the idea of that, of when do you use any sort of outsourcing like that? And when do you know to use it? Because I know like you do your own website, which a lot of people outsource that, but you have chosen to, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to do it.
I was taught by the best.
You were taught, but you've taken it on your own.
Yeah, I know how to do it now.
Yeah. You have.
It's awesome. But of course, with social media, it allows for like heated discussion, and you stand strong by you're firm.
Yeah, it allows the good and the bad to have the same equally loud voice, which is scary because a good voice or the right side of an argument doesn't snowball, right? Like you say, you go out and you say, slavery's bad. No one will say anything, right? But if you say something bad, it snowballs and creates a tornado effect around it where, everyone has equal loud voice, but when you have where it snowballs and it gets bigger and bigger because I say, no, slavery is the best and bring it back. And then all of a sudden now everyone is yelling at me, but that now I'm being noticed more because I said something bad, and and it gets noticed and it gets bigger, and someone comes out and says like, flu shots will make your eyes go rainbow, and everyone's like, yeah, you're right. Here's some statistics that show it. My brother got it.
But where do these statistics come from? Are they from a source that are against them too? Like, that's another thing. I can't believe anything that I read, even good or bad.
Yeah.
Like, okay, how do we know anymore? There is like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of news outlets now, or articles that are saying, who did it really come from? Like, I feel like we should have just a little basket of reputable sources and that's all we listen to. That
is where I think artificial intelligence needs to be.
That has no emotion to it?
It has no emotion, it has no connection. It just goes, these are the facts.
Yes.
And
alternative facts.
No alternative. Yeah, there's no way for it to be alternative, right? Because it'll go around and say like, yes, it conducted its own study by literally calling 1,000 people, asking them the exact same question, the exact same way, because it's a robot. And they'll get the answers, and they say 5 of them said yes and 5 of them said no. It's even. That's it. And then it moves on to the next information.
Yes.
Rather than, because you hear, good or bad. When they do a poll, it depends how you ask the question. It might be worded wrong, or your inflection might be wrong.
Or who did, exactly. Because then, if you asked a question about how bad meat is to vegans.
Yeah.
Hello, then it's bad, right? It's just so what happened with Facebook, I feel, ruined a lot of this information for us because of what my views are, my beliefs are. I only see the news feed of what I believe.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, look, see, I'm so right. I'm right. And what I'm thinking, I believe that's correct. But then it's just so, the only way I see anything that conflicts with my beliefs is if I have a friend on Facebook who is opposite of my beliefs and they'll post something.
And then you get to go look at their, sometimes, right? Like you get to go see kind of their wall and you go and you look and you go, wait a second, I haven't heard any of this stuff.
Yes.
And whether it's good or bad, just like, holy crap, this doesn't come across my feed.
Yeah.
And it's not just Facebook. It's this whole algorithm way that like Facebook, Google, YouTube, Twitter, all these things run that Twitter, not so much. Because I think now they're starting to make it where, because I think Twitter, it's just, you say, I want to follow this person, and it just shows you their feed in the order that they come in. I don't think I think now they're starting to try to sort it also.
I think I'm too old for Twitter. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how funny. How I am scared right now because as we're talking about like vaccines and all that stuff, I get a BuzzFeed 1 minute ago, a BuzzFeed news alert. Anti-vaxxers are now a top 10 threat to global health, joining the ranks of Ebola and HIV, the World Health Organization says. How did they hear our conversation?
And that's not, I mean, it's in the news, but it's not in the news enough right now for it
like,
to be a common.
Here, news, breaking news.
Yeah. I mean, because it only came up in your life because you're sick. It's not like it came up because the subject came up because you're looking for that subject. That's scary.
Okay.
You know what's funny is too, if anything, it comes through on an iPhone, let alone like anything, right? Because iPhone's supposed to be like, oh no, we keep all your stuff private, and it's like, well, it happens on every phone where you get these weird. I know some of them are coincidences, but then at other times it will show and do stuff where you're like, you're listening to me. There's no way. I haven't looked for that. I haven't searched for that. And even if not, even if they go like, well, it's the algorithm that goes through and it figures out what you like. Like the one lady the girl that got coupons from Target about pregnancy before her parents knew that she was pregnant, before she.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't? It's one of the I don't know if I think it's true. I want to say it is, but who knows nowadays? No, it's true. It was a case study of Target was, how like when you go to Target and you have like a card that you could swipe and it kind of knows how you do at other grocery stores and stuff. Like you put in your number for the discounts and they kind of keep track of what you purchased. And what they were doing is they were running all that through a algorithm software that looked at it and tried to figure out it'll send you coupons that are tailored to you, what you need to get, right? And it had figured out and was starting to send by just her purchases that she was doing, this young, I say woman, like I think she was like 18, but she still lived at home. And they were sending her stuff for a baby, for like a newborn baby. And the dad got mad of like, why? Because it was sent directly to her because she was using her account. And the dad was like, why are you sending this stuff to my daughter? And then the daughter was like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm pregnant. And so like Target knew before the parents knew that she was pregnant.
Gosh.
And by algorithm, it's not like a human went in and figured it out. Again, that's why like to a degree, like you're saying, you could have. We need to have like these entities that we can go to and say, what is the fact? And it's possible. Like you can go in and you could write a software or create a thing that will do that. And from that point on, it'll have no more human interference. It's just generating that. Because, there's a lot of things out there. And I think it screwed up a lot of stuff, like you're saying, like Facebook. And just all social interaction online in any way or form.
It's helped divide.
It helped divide. It helped create bubbles. By dividing, it created these bubbles. I think to myself that I'm not a machine. That's why Hillary lost. is there was a bubble within everything I saw on Facebook, on YouTube, on
she's gonna win.
She's gonna win, and everyone thought.
That's why the loss was. I lost my mind. I was crying because I didn't. I even called my mom and said, "What is happening?"
Yeah.
Holy, what?
Right? Because when it happened, I looked around, and you're looking at the people who voted for Trump, and you're like, I didn't even know people like this existed.
Yes, yeah, and they come out of the woodworks. We felt right.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow.
And you're like, oh shit, they exist. They do exist. But how come we've never heard of them? And it's because of that. The algorithm.
Well, Russia helped to, right?
Yeah.
They helped like suppress.
What they did, and that's why it has to be artificial intelligence. It can't be from a human source. What they did is they used artificial intelligence type software. It's just algorithms, right? Like it figures out to write tweets or write Facebook messages and stuff. And it would go, because it happened, the bots that they wrote, the code that did it, it went out and did like, what's the movie right now? Star Wars, that divides everyone. Star Wars is over. The one that everyone argues about was like 3 years ago. They found that one of the Russian bots went into a chat room with that and sort of helped push the argument along and figured out how to like it created 3 people that, fake accounts that would go in and go like, yeah, this movie's great. And brought it in this other side and, oh, this movie's horrible. And it kept the conversation going longer than it needed to go.
Yeah, because you could even tell. Okay, so in some groups that I belong to, all of a sudden there's a person, quote unquote, who will comment something negatively in this, like it could be a political group that I would belong to. Uh-huh. And they'll go against that out of the like. Why? First of all, why would they be in there if they don't believe in that? Like that's not their group. This isn't a group of people.
Yeah.
But then when you go, and I'll always go and click on that person. It's like such a generic.
Oh yeah.
Profile, and I go and I'll come back. I'm like, it's just a bot. Don't even. People are arguing with that bot and going back and forth. I'm like, people, it's not a real person.
Well, that's the thing. I think a lot of people things that have to be taught, I think, to people at large, let alone kids in school and stuff, is one is how to curate your own knowledge, right? How to pull it in, where to get it from, where to go like, okay, I trust this source, I don't trust that source. How to not only the sources you trust, don't blindly trust it, because you have to also learn how to discern of like, is what they're saying valid, or how are they saying it? Why are they saying it that way? Are they trying to trick me into believing what they're saying, or are they trying to trick me into an argument? Because once you get into an argument, you go to like the lizard brain. You want to fight back for some reason when, and win the argument. And you're like, but if it's a machine, it'll just keep going. Or if it's a troll, if it's a person doing it, you can always argue stupidity, right? Or you can always create an argument for anything. And if no one believes that, ask a kid when they go, why is the sky blue? And you see it, it's because of, I don't know, the way the sunlight refracts the thing. So why does the sunlight do that? And then and how the kids, they keep going, why? And it keeps going in. And all they literally are saying is, why? They're not even bringing up an actual argument, and there's a point where you as the adult or as a mature person online has to go, I am no longer in this conversation. I'm out of this conversation now, because it is
endless.
It's endless. It's not going to work. And by going into it more, you're creating more fuel, because someone will then refer to that argument online, because it's online now, and go, yeah, see, this person said this about that, and this person said that about it. You said it in the heat of the moment.
Yep.
But now it's out there, and now it sparks another stupid argument and another stupid, or it's just fuel to continue it on. And it's a very different time now. I think like it's going to have to take like a very large social shift, which I kind of see with millennials. You kind of see, like, a lot of people don't like millennials or even the generation below that because they seem very different, right? They're very counterculture to what what we have, of they don't want to do a lot of things we don't want that we do. But it makes sense. In order to change going forward, you have to change a lot of things about.
Yeah, if we don't like how it is now, let's be open to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Because maybe avocado on toast is good.
It is.
It's delicious. Everything's a work in progress. That's the whole thing, going back to the beginning about that.
You don't know unless you do.
Exactly. That goes back to the whole idea of getting up to do a speech and getting that or having stage fright or having, whatever, when the camera's on you and when you sit there and you build a camera mount on your table and you get there and you spent $40 on all the parts and you realize like, I only needed like $10 of that and I have all the wrong parts. Not all of them. A lot of it is. But I wouldn't know until I did it to know like, I need to get this changed and that changed. And, you never know until you do it. And I think that's also a part of running your own business, right? A lot of people are like, well, it's got to be done perfect. It's got to start off on the right foot.
You'll never get it then.
You never go. Yeah, you'll never get. I ordered 1,000 or 500 forms right now for when customers come in and they have mistakes all over it. But I would never have noticed it until I ordered it.
Yeah, it's so true.
And everything has a problem, That's why I like when movies are being made and people, it's funny to notice the continuity mistakes.
Oh, that's my favorite thing to do.
But a lot of it, it's like, no, is it telling the story? Is it getting through to the, the point across? If it is, they're there. I'm not going to say they're not there, but it's not, to me, it doesn't make or break unless it breaks it to where like, I'm holding the gun. And then when you cut to the other shot, you're holding the gun all of a sudden. Then, it really breaks the continuity. But looking left versus looking right, that's not enough to say like, they don't know what they're doing.
It reminds me of Naked Gun or something. That's hilarious.
But even then, like, if the movie plays off that, right? If you play off of the fact that there was a continuity error, that's fine.
It's so funny.